All right, everybody. Coach will begin with an opening statement. We'll open up for questions.
There we go. Yeah, no, I guess, the game, it got a little bit out of hand, but, I was proud of the way our guys played. I thought they played the right way. They played unselfishly. They shared the basketball. I don't remember too many, forced shots, which is one thing. Sometimes in these games it can get ugly and guys get a little selfish. But I thought our guys did a really good job sharing the ball, obviously with, 7 guys in double figures. And one of the things that we harp on a lot is, having less than 10 turnovers. And, we only had 9 tonight, which is good. But I thought defensively, I didn't think we were great. I thought, our energy and intensity wasn't on the level it needs to be. And next Tuesday it needs to be on a whole nother level. But I thought we gave up too many, threes. We knew they were going to shoot a lot of threes, and even when they had, a small lineup in and we had big lineup having to guard on the perimeter, you still got to have that energy, and you got to have, we shouldn't be giving up 38 three-point attempts. And if they are, they should be at the end of the shot clock. And so that's some stuff we need to work on. And with those long shots, there's going to be long rebounds. A couple times our guys just ran in there instead of boxing their guy out and then going and getting it. And so, the little stuff that goes into winning, we still have to correct a lot of it. But the good thing is we can show them film and get better.
Questions?
Yeah.
The only 2 guys who didn't play tonight are Lewis Courtwright and Curtis Conway, correct?
Yep.
How close are they, and how much of an impact do you feel they could have when they do come back?
Yeah, Chris is kind of out, kind of indefinitely right now, with his injury, and then and Louis, I don't know, he got knocked in the head a little bit, and so just to play it safe, he's kind of in his protocol right now.
The starting lineup we saw tonight, is that what we can anticipate next week as well?
I don't think so. I don't have a starting lineup set right now. That's just kind of the guys that have been playing, probably the best in the last 2.5 weeks. They're still. Like I said, some of our guys that came off the bench, played great tonight. I thought, and I thought their energy, and I thought Zoom played well. I thought Tyler Harris played well at times, and so that the starting lineup's going to be fluid.
Just looking at you on the bench doing your coaching, you were a lot more quiet tonight than I anticipated seeing you. Is that what we can anticipate going forward, or are you a little bit more vocal than we saw you tonight?
No, more vocal. Yeah, and obviously the more the intense game is, the more intense we'll be, and. But, hopefully they're all like that, but they're not going to be.
Between now and your opener, just what things would you like to clean up?
Yeah, like I said, our defensive intensity, we got to be able to guard the three-point line. You got to be able to guard the three-point line. Then you got to sit down and keep your guy in front of you. I thought a couple times our guys just got blown by, and they know who they are, and you have to be able to guard your guy. You just do at this level. If you get put into a scramble situation, teams are too good offensively. They're going to get wide open shots, and it's a recipe for losing. And so we got to take a little more pride defensively. I did think our team did a good job when there was loose balls on the floor. I thought our guys dove on the floor and were first to the floor. We didn't get all of them, but I thought we had some great effort plays, which we're going to need to do.
And any just one stat on this day, that you particularly like the 54 to 32 rebounding edge seems to really jump out.
It does, and I think with our size advantage, it should be like that. I'm probably more proud of the 9 turnovers, having 10 or less, just because, like I said, sometimes games like that can get sloppy when it's a lot of possessions. But yeah, anytime you can out rebound somebody like that, it's great. But I thought with our size advantage, I expected that.
Outside of the defense, is there anything a night like tonight teaches you that you haven't already learned over the last few weeks, summer, fall camp, anything like that? Is there anything that kind of stood out to you?
No, I knew it's going to be choppy, for a while with this group. We'll have flashes where we're playing really well and it's smooth and it looks good, and then there's going to be times where it's choppy. And, and that's when it does get choppy, especially offensively. That's when we have to be really good defensively. You can't be choppy defensively. We have to get more solid, and in our communication, I don't think we're as loud as we need to be. Sometimes our post guys calling out ball screen coverage. They're not calling it out early enough and loud enough. And a couple times Zoom and Tyree got drilled by screens because our bigs weren't yelling it out. And so, just being a great team defender, I thought our guys, we got caught a couple times in the first half with their ball screen defense. Their post is rolling and our guy wasn't there tagging and getting back. It takes multiple efforts to do that. And, and that's stuff that we've seen, but now we can show them on film against another team. Now Davis is going to be watching that film too. and just like we're going to be watching film of Davis, and we got to kind of, wherever you get exploited, you got to be able to clean that up in a hurry.
Osabor looked just a little sluggish to me. I'd seen him play before, and he's real explosive. But I know he was sick when we came out to meet with your guys.
Yeah.
Well, what's his situation right now?
Yeah, similar. Like he still needs to get in better shape, like a lot of them. And it is no excuse for any of them. But we did that. That sickness that's kind of going around to everybody. Our guys got it too. And it's kind of lingered for about 3 weeks. But yeah, a lot of times now too, like we've done the conditioning and all that, but like now they got to get into game shape. Like playing in front of a crowd and playing against another team, it's kind of a different type until you get that second wind.
How do you assess the three-point shooting where you're going into the season? Confident, not confident, streaky? Just how do you feel the three-point shooting is?
I'd say they're confident, but I'd say it's streaky. That's probably the best word. There's times in practice where we'll make 4 or 5 in a row, but just being consistent with kind of our habits and our foot. Some of our guys, the ones they miss, it's their footwork, or they're catching it and taking too much time instead of like the same shot every time, and and that's just them getting in the gym and shooting with that game speed, and then it's just knocking some down in the game too, because sometimes when DJ gets going, like other guys see it going through the rim and now they're shooting more confident too.
Hey, obviously it was just an exhibition, but any nerves at all? Just that first game, stepping in there, or wearing those colors and kind of seeing it.
Yeah, I mean not really until like we kind of walked out, 2 minutes before the game. Kind of when you're walking in that tunnel, and then you see it, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like that's when I start thinking of the guys like Coach Bender and Coach Romar and Coach Harsh, like all the guys that walk through that tunnel, and that's what's special about this place. And I hope our players like feel that same thing, from here on out. Like it's the same tunnel that Brandon Roy ran out of. It's the same tunnel that Isaiah Thomas ran out of, Detlef and those guys, and hopefully they end up having that same type of pride because it is a special place like that.
Zoom being a local kid, he's always going to get more attention. He had a lot of minutes tonight, and he looked like he was trying real hard to get to the hoop tonight. He looked like he also had some freshman moments. Can you talk a little bit about what you saw out of him and where he really needs to go from tonight on?
Yeah, I thought he was great. I thought his energy was great. I thought, he kind of changed the pace when he got in there. We got really aggressive when he got in there. He had some layups that he'll make those. It's kind of, I thought that was kind of some freshman jitters because he's a really good finisher. But I think when he gets the ball downhill, that's his strength. He's so big and strong that, even now when guys cut him off, he needs to play off 2 feet and use his size because he can shoot over guys. And I think that's where he's a problem. And, he had some great passes tonight. Yeah, he had a couple silly turnovers, but like that stuff he can correct. And a lot of it was just trying to make a play that may not be there, just trying to hit a home run. But I thought he played really well. And I thought the minutes that he was on the court, like I thought our pace was pretty good.
How would you describe Tyree's involvement? Obviously, he's a starter, plays 17 minutes, doesn't score, but it seems like is he doing the little things, the details, the gritty work that you need to kind of execute the offense and defense?
Yeah, he does. He's our fastest player. You could see it on the court. Like he's our best defender, and he changed a couple of those possessions defensively. They turned the ball over because when we can score and he can pick up full court and turn guys, I think he's elite at that, and we're going to need that. And he needs to do it without fouling. Because we got to have him on the court too. But, he even had some layups that he missed tonight. Kind of, I don't know if it was first game jitters type stuff, but those are plays from here on out. Like our guards, you gotta make those shots. You gotta, when you get that thing 3 feet and in, you gotta make that because at this level, usually when you miss those layups, it's a basket on the other end within 4 or 5 seconds.
Take one more if you guys got them.
You excited for next year, too?
Yeah, no, I'm ready to go. I mean, it's just been so long since June 15th, like it's a long time for these guys to just beat up on each other. And, it's good now because every team's got so many brand new players. It gives you a little more time to kind of do some things. But, sometimes when you're getting older guys, like they're ready for the season. And I've kind of sensed that for the last couple of weeks with our guys. They're ready to get this thing going.
Any early scouting report on UC Davis for people who really don't really know them?
Yeah, and I know him really well, obviously from my time in the Big West. But like you said, other people that don't know him, I mean, Coach Les is one of the great coaches in college basketball. He really is. He was a great player too, played in the NBA. But his teams play so tough. They make you beat them. Like they play with great pace. Their post guys are sprinting to every screen. Like they were always one of the hardest teams to beat, no matter what their talent level was. And they always had good players and good talent. But like just how hard they play and how they compete, like you have to beat them. Like you have to play a clean game. You can't turn the ball over. You got to take good shots because if you don't, like they're too good offensively, and then they'll control the pace of the game. But they'll run a lot of like continuous ball screen motion, and like they'll really get that ball moving. And they got a point guard who was picked preseason player of the year, who was a transfer from Loyola Chicago, I believe. But he's been there for a year or two now, and he's like Tyree, like he's electric speed. And fast with the ball, and he's a guy that can go get 30. So we gotta have some awareness of him.